Choosing the best option for getting started and how much crypto you will need. By this stage of the process, hopefully you've been able to get a decent grasp on how the ecosystem functions. You understand that there are 5 different levels of miners, each level having progressively more mining capacity than the previous, and that each account can have up to 8 different miners in docking slots working at any given time. So, when calculating what you will need to get started, we have to consider the cost of our desired miners and the cost to unlock the docking slots that the miners will be placed in. So, the first thing you want to do is determine which miners and how many you would like to start with. Then calculate how many docking slots you will need to unlock. This will give you an idea of how much crypto you will need to begin with. As you can see depicted on the screen, there's a summation of the cost associated with each individual miner. Our navigators, which is our lowest powered miners in the ecosystem, or the equivalent of 50 US dollars worth of MQT. Remember, all miners are purchased in MQT. So the dollar amounts that you see depicted on the screen or the equivalent value in US dollars. Then we have our Trailblazer, which is $100. Explorer, $150 worth of MQT. Vanguard's $225 worth of MQT. And then our Titans. In order to acquire a Titan, it requires 2 Vanguards, which would be $225 each, giving us $450, plus $350 to evolve or to merge them into one Titan. So the total cost for one Titan would be $800. So each individual has the ability to choose whether they want to get one navigator, which is the lowest powered miner. You can get multiple navigators, or you can actually get any combination of the 5 miners that you see currently available. Now, once you've decided on which miners you would like to start with and how many, then you have the cost to unlock the docking slots in which they go in. Every account receives the first docking slot for free. And then there's an escalating cost to unlock the subsequent docking slots. So first one is free, then it goes to $10, $20, 25, 30, 35, 60, and 120, depending on whether or not you want to unlock all 8 docking slots and place a miner in them. Additional fees or costs that may be associated with the process or that are associated with the process, or nominal blockchain gas fees, which are fees that are incurred with each blockchain transaction that is performed. Then we have submission fees, which is a vital part of how MoveQuest functions as a self-sustaining ecosystem. In order to earn daily rewards, users must submit their proof of physical activity on a daily basis. The ecosystem charges a fee per submission. This fee can range anywhere from approximately 25 cents to $4.50 per day, depending on the number and type of miners that each participant may actually have. Then we have claim fees. These are the fees paid each time you claim your digital rewards. So to claim, we highly recommend claiming in 10-day blocks, as the fee is a nominal $1 for each 10 days that you claim. With the initial setup, we would recommend that you allocate between $30 to $50 for fees. Anything left over can be used for future transactions, and if you don't have enough, you will always be able to top up your wallet should there be a need to cover more fees. There are 3 basic ways to get started mining with MoveQuest. In this video, we will outline each of the 3 and help give you a framework around how to calculate approximately how much crypto you will need to get started. The available options are to buy, hatch, or lease in order to start your journey. Option number one is to purchase and or evolve your miners outright. This process is pretty straightforward. What you would do here is you would determine which miners you would like to obtain and calculate the cost of those miners and the corresponding cost to unlock docking slots for each of them. Depicted, we're going to give you an example of a person that wanted to acquire 6 Vanguards. It would cost $225 times 6 because each Vanguard to purchase outright would be $225. So multiply that times 6, that would be $1,350. Plus, we have to unlock the docking slots so that we have a place for all 6 of them to actually go. The first one is free. The second is $10. The third is $20. The fourth is $25. The fifth is $30. And the sixth would be $35. The total would be $120, which would be in the equivalent of MQT because MQT would be used to actually unlock the docking slots. So altogether, plus gas fees, you're looking at approximately $1,470 worth of MQT and or USDT, depending on um, which miners you chose to get and evolve up to. So we purchase our miners in MQT, we evolve with USDT, and gas fees are paid in AVAX. All of that will be explained, and details on how to swap in and out of the various tokens that are needed will be in the walkthrough videos of setting up your account. So please refer back to the MoveQuest Help Center for those detailed videos. That's option number one. Option number two is to leverage the hatchery. Now, by this point, if you haven't already watched the overview video on the hatchery, I highly recommend it. So option two allows you to leverage the power of the hatchery. And the hatchery plays an integral part in providing stability to the ecosystem and offers additional rewards above and beyond the rewards that you're able to earn on a daily basis from your physical activity for those that choose to utilize the hatchery. Until March 31st of 2025, participants can purchase MQT and stake it in the hatchery and instantly receive miners for the same cost as purchasing them outright. There's an additional fee of 15% that's paid in AVAX in order to utilize the hatchery. However, participants will receive all of the MQT that they staked back at the end of 222 days. Plus, they will receive additional MQT rewards that are earned each day. A proof of physical activity submission is actually made. So basically, everything that you put into the hatchery comes back to you minus the initial AVAX fee of 15% in order to get into the hatchery. So at the end of 222 days, it's almost kind of like getting a refund on what you spent to acquire your miners. So 80 to 85% of what you spent actually comes back. Now, if you choose to leverage the hatchery after March the 31st of 2025, the hatchery will still offer the same ability to earn additional daily rewards. However, there will be no ability to actually receive the MQT back. They would no longer be releasing the MQT back to the participants. So if you're seeing this prior to March 31st, I highly recommend evaluating option number two as one of your potential ways to move forward with getting started with MoveQuest at this time. Either way, for those that are in position to do so, leveraging the hatchery is by far the best of the available options to acquire miners at the present time, because the cost to acquire the miners by purchasing them outright is exactly the same, but it positions you to either earn additional rewards on a daily basis, and or to earn those rewards and get all of your MQT back. So definitely would like to consider that in the process. Now, in comparison to the previous example, we're going to do taking the same 6 vanguards into consideration again, just so you can have a depiction of what that looks like. It's still $225 for six miners, which will be the same $1,350. To the docking slots, you would still have to unlock the necessary docking slots in order to put those miners in, which would still be $120 worth of MQT. On the front end, utilizing the hatchery, you would pay 15% of each $225 that you were staking in the hatchery. So it would be $33.75 per Vanguard miner that you decide to put in the hatchery. So if we did 6, that would be the equivalent of $202.50 worth of AVAX, giving us a total of $1,672.50 plus any blockchain gas fees that were associated with the process. However, keep in mind, the amount of MQT staked in the hatchery is returned in 222 days, and you will be earning additional MQT on a daily basis as you are actually submitting your proof of physical activity during that time. Then that brings us to option number 3. Option number 3 is leasing. Participants can lease or rent miners from inventory in the global leasing dock. This offers a huge reduction in the initial cost associated with mining with MoveQuest, not having the need to purchase miners or unlock docking slots with access to the same level of mining power. So you can lease your miners without having to buy them, without having to unlock docking slots, and still get the same mining capacity that you would if you were actually purchasing them outright. Now, leasing rates and terms are market driven and can change based on supply and demand. Daily, weekly, and monthly leasing options are available. Participants must pay the leasing fees in advance, and they're still required or responsible for daily submission fees, just like they would if they actually owned or purchased miners outright. However, participants do not have to split any of their rewards with anyone. So whatever you produce with your physical activity, you get to keep. So to calculate the leasing cost, please connect to the MoveQuest website to see real-time rates, as there will be variable rates depending on, again, supply and demand and what's available at the time you choose to actually start your leasing. Whether you decide to buy, hatch, or lease, there's an option for everyone. Please refer to the MoveQuest Help Center for instructions to complete the process for the option of your choice. Enjoy your journey.